and welcome back to Love All Beauty. If you're new here, my name is Amanda. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's going to be just a simple, easy foundation concealer try on. If that sounds like something you're interested in seeing, then just keep watching. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do that. You can ring the notification bell. That way you're notified every time that I upload a video. You can also find me on social media, Instagram, and Twitter. If you didn't know from my previous video, I'm still getting over a cold, so my voice sounds deeper, nasalier. There's some sniffing involved, so sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Keep watching. Don't leave. All right, we're gonna jump right in. Clearly do not have any makeup on my face, as one might be able to tell. I did already prep my skin though. So for foundation, I'm going to use the Makeup Forever HD Skin. This is the new version of it. I have the lightest shade 1N00, which was previously Y205. It's got this kind of fun, like recyclable cap, which is awesome. Has a pump. I'm going to shake it up. Shake it up. And I'm just going to use my sponge. This is the e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge, but I just really love how super duper soft it is and easy to work with, and I kind of like how it has like a smaller tip so you can get up close to the eye, and it's e.l.f. so it's really inexpensive and works well. Just as good as the beauty blenders. I'm going to go ahead and just do, I don't know, maybe a little bit like that. And I always like to kind of spread it out on the back of my hand there. And I've got my little mirror here, so I apologize if I'm kind of looking down into that. I'm just going to start by stamping it on in there. I think this is one of those foundations that you can really, Avi? It's my dog barking out the window at somebody. Probably nothing. Probably a leaf. Probably a leaf blowing on the street. As I was saying, this is one of those foundations that you can build it up. I think it's like a medium buildable, or you can sheer it out depending on the type of coverage you're wanting. For me, I think the biggest thing is like I just want to try and even out my skin tone. I don't really have a lot of blemishes or anything that I'm wanting to cover, but as one can tell, I'm pink like a piglet, so I need to definitely even out the skin tone and not be so pink. So I'm not necessarily too afraid of my own skin texture. I mean, it is what it is. You know, nobody has perfect skin. You're not going to look perfect like plastic or something. So for me, I just like something on an everyday basis that is just going to help me enhance what I already have. So just looking at it up close, I feel like it's working really well with my base, so you guys can see. Obviously I still have some shine and stuff, but it's really kind of helped even out my skin. And I think I'm just going to keep it there. I don't necessarily want to just keep building on that. Like I said, for my everyday, this is what I'm wanting. I'm going to be using a new concealer. This is the OneSize Beauty by the makeup artist Patrick Starrr. This is his beauty brand. It's called the Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer, so supposedly really nice and emollient and hydrating, which is good. This is in shade Fair 1N, which is neutral. I'm hoping that this is going to be a good one since it's supposed to be hydrating. So I'm just going to apply it in the areas that I'm wanting to kind of help brighten up which I do have some discoloration, of course, on the sides here. And I also kind of keep in mind that for the most part, when I'm applying any eyeshadows, that, you know, the eyeshadow is going to hide any discoloration that I'm showing under there. That looks pretty good. Just gonna add maybe a little bit on the sides. Go down the bridge of the nose. Just gonna draw it on like a cat. Usually go in the center of the chin. So anywhere you're wanting to kind of highlight. Don't you hate when you can feel a hair on your face, but yet you can't see it? Like, where is this hair? I know it's there, but I can't see Maybe put a little too much on the forehead there, blending it all the way up to my hairline. All right, so just having a look at it in the mirror, it definitely seems like a more fuller coverage concealer. And what I did notice is while it is a more hydrating concealer, I'm noticing that some of the areas that I put it down on my face, it already kind of started to dry a little bit. So I have to kind of really pounce it in a little bit more with my sponge. So just keep that in mind. Like, don't go painting it all over your face and then just let it sit there for a minute and take your time. Like, you might have a more difficult time blending it out. Maybe just apply it in like one area first, blend it out, another area, blend it out. That way you're not having it dry down and then just kind of have like a mark on your face, or just getting peeved off because you can't blend it out right. And it does help to dampen your sponge. That's what they're meant to be. They're supposed to be dampened unless noted otherwise. I have seen some YouTubers that have found sponges that work dry for them. But for the most part, like I said, about 95% of all beauty sponges are supposed to be dampened prior to use. And now that doesn't necessarily mean like soaking wet. Like, I'll put mine under the faucet, but then I like wring it out, and then usually I'll put a tissue around it and like wring it out again. So it's not soaking wet, it's just damp. And some people too, also, like, if you don't have a water source around you, can just spray some setting spray on it, and people find that that helps kind of set in their foundation even more by using the setting spray. So it's a little tip from me to you. Oh, I see the hair. I see it. I see it. That's the part of the fun of having an animal. So you can see that looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty even, I would say. So I'm going to go ahead and set everything down. Now, my setting powder preference is the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. And I bought some of these little powder puffs on Amazon, and I like this shape because it has a little tip here and you can get right up into the corner of your eye there. So what I like to do is just kind of pounce this little puff right into the powder here, and then I just kind of beat it down on the palm of my hand so there's just not like a bunch of it caked on there, and then just pat it on to the face, and that helps it to be nice and set down and looks nice and flawless. All right, so I'm sure you guys can see just the difference between setting it down and not. And again, if you're somebody like me who has drier skin, the less powder you're using under your eye, the better. So I find that this powder puff really helps to limit that, so I'm not going overboard. But like, I still have creasing under my eyes because obviously I have movement in my face. Like, that's never unless I were to, you know, get Botox everywhere, your face is gonna move. Like, that's just how it is. So I'm gonna go around and set other areas. Tend to do my smile lines. I also like to do my nose. And go over the forehead. I, for the most part, like to set down pretty much everything because then I'll be blending products on top, like bronzer and blush, and I don't want that to disrupt the base at all. I think that looks pretty good. Sorry, you guys, I'm still battling my sickness. Just putting on a little Laneige lips sleeping mask. This is in Sweet Candy. This stuff is the best. If you have dry lips, you don't have to just use it when you're sleeping. You can use it anytime, which I do. Cool. So let's see, I can get up close. You guys can see. Beautiful people. I have the rest of my makeup on. I'm going to get on with my day, and then I'm going to check back in later and just let you know my thoughts on how the foundation wore throughout the day. I think it worked really well with blending everything out over top. It didn't seem to like disturb anything. This is very kind of simple makeup. Yeah, I really didn't do anything like too terribly complicated. So you can see a nice up close shot of my face. Like, who doesn't want that? So no judging. I will check in with you all later. Yes. A little clip here on my phone for you in natural lighting, just so you guys can see everything. It's kind of like in my dining room area. It's actually not raining for once, so you can kind of see in the sunshine. I hope that gives you guys a good view. Is it high definition makeup? I don't know, but it looks pretty good. Well, now, my loves, I know it has just been about a millisecond for you, but it's been about 6 hours since I applied this makeup. I really like the foundation. Like, it doesn't feel heavy or cakey or anything like that on my skin. I also really don't apply a lot of foundation. I try to keep my makeup as natural as possible, and I find that when I'm using a dampened sponge to apply foundation, I do get a sheerer coverage. You can keep that in mind if you're wanting to get a more full coverage look out of your foundation, then try using a brush instead of a sponge. I apologize, as the evening wears on, I continue to get more and more congested, so I probably sound terrible. So I'll try to keep this short. I think everything looks, for the most part, pretty good for being on like over 6 hours now. I obviously didn't reapply any lips or anything, and I'm in a different t-shirt. I mean, we're just being casual here, people. No need to get fancy. I have my little puff here, and I just kind of wanted to tap on a little bit of powder just to see, especially in that little crease area. Oh, one of my lights just popped off. Cool. So yeah, there we go. I mean, I really think this is a good foundation. I mean, I think it wears well, like I said, and the concealer that I tried as well, I mean, I'll have to keep using that and just see how it works with other foundations and everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.